The Galactic Council's fortress stood like a monument to Order 64 species, unified under protocols written in steel and hierarchy. Security checkpoints lined every corridor, biometric scanners humming their constant vigilance. No one walked these halls without clearance. No one moved without permission. Ceres Vale walked like she owned the place. The human woman strode through the main atrium with her head high, dark hair pulled back in a simple tie, wearing nothing more official than a worn leather jacket and cargo pants. She carried no weapon, no badge, no identification chip embedded in her palm like every registered citizen of the Council territories. What she did carry, however, made every guard freeze in their tracks. Flanking her on both sides were Kralothi cubs, 3 of them, their golden fur still soft with youth, their eyes bright with fierce loyalty. The one closest to her right was Rak, barely past his naming ceremony, yet he moved with the precision of a trained sentinel. His small claws clicked against the polished floor in perfect rhythm with Cerese's boots. "Halt!" The checkpoint commander, a Vaxian with 4 arms and twice the regulation arrogance, stepped forward. His security team raised plasma rifles. "This is a restricted zone. Surrender your—" He stopped mid-sentence. The cubs had positioned themselves in a defensive triangle around Ceres, and Rak had lifted his head to reveal the silver band around his neck, not a collar, but a sigil, the mark of Krelther. The symbol that meant this cub was not just any Kralathi youth, but blood-born royalty, which meant the human he protected. "Stand down," came a deep growl from the shadows. A fully grown Kralatha warrior, General Thros, emerged from the observation deck above. His scarred muzzle and battle-worn armor spoke of decades in service. "You're threatening a high commander." The Vaxian's faceplates went pale blue. That's impossible. She's human." Humans don't follow our rules," Thros interrupted, descending the stairs with heavy footfalls. "Which is precisely why she holds that rank." Ceres hadn't stopped walking. She simply glanced at the security team with the faintest smile. "You boys going to keep pointing those at me, or can I get to the council chamber? I have a war to prevent." The rifles lowered immediately. It had started 3 cycles ago, in the contested zones beyond the Helix Nebula. A human research vessel had crashed on Krelther Prime. Not just crashed, but torn apart by debris fields from an illegal mining operation. Ceres Vale had been the only survivor, pulled from the wreckage by Kralathi salvage teams. She should have died. The medical scans showed 17 broken bones, catastrophic internal bleeding, exposure to vacuum. But humans, as the galaxy was slowly learning, didn't die easy. She woke up in a Kralathi medical ward, surrounded by cubs younglings abandoned after their pack had been slaughtered by the same pirates who destroyed her. Ship, orphans, forgotten by a society that prized strength and dismissed the weak. The Kralathi nurses expected her to recoil. Their species was fearsome 9 feet tall at full growth, apex predators with fangs designed to tear through hull plating. Their cubs, though small, already possessed claws sharp enough to shred flesh. Instead, Sherizad sat up, 4 still in her arm, and asked, "Who's feeding them?" 3 days later, she was living in the orphan ward. 1 week later, she'd organized their food distribution, medical care, and education schedule. 2 weeks later, she'd tracked down the pirates responsible for both attacks and delivered their coordinates to Kralathi military command along with a detailed assault plan. Rak had been the first to follow her. A runt by Kralathi standards, deemed too small for warrior training. He'd watched this strange, soft-skinned alien argue with generals 3 times her size, never backing down, never showing fear. When she'd knelt down to his level and said, "You're going to be stronger than all of them," he'd believed her. The pack bond formed that day, not through dominance or ritual, but through something the Kralathi had never encountered before. Trust earned, not taken. The council chamber doors opened before Ceres reached them. Inside, representatives from 64 species sat in tiered circles, a parliament of claws, tentacles, and carapaces. At the center podium stood Ambassador Kelix of the Vaxian Empire, mid-speech about territorial expansion and the Kralathi problem. He stopped when he saw her enter. "This session is closed to," he began. "Sit down, Kelix." Ceres didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. Rak and the other cubs moved to strategic positions around the chamber, their young bodies somehow radiating the same authority as their adult counterparts. "We need to talk about your mining operations in neutral space." "How dare you!" 17 ships destroyed. 412 casualties. 37 of them cubs. Cerise pulled a data chip from her jacket and tossed it onto the central display console. Holographic evidence sprang to life coordinates, transaction records, video footage of Vaxian vessels firing on unarmed transports. You've been framing the Kralathi for your own illegal ops to justify military action. The chamber erupted in chaos. Ambassador Kellix's faceplates flushed from blue to purple. This is outrageous. We don't answer to some human. No, Thras said, entering behind Cerise with a full contingent of Kralathi warriors. But you answer to the Council. And High Commander Vale has brought evidence of war crimes. High Commander? She's not even military. She is now. Thras placed a clawed hand on Cerise's shoulder, a gesture of profound respect in Kralathi culture. By ancient law, anyone who earns the loyalty of the bloodborne packs and leads them with honor holds the rank of High Commander. It hasn't been invoked in 3 centuries. His eyes glinted. But then, we've never had a human before. Rack stepped forward, his young voice clear despite his size. She saved us when no one else would. She avenged our fallen. She leads because she cares. He looked up at Cerise with absolute devotion. We follow because she's worthy. Cerise crouched down, placing a hand on Rack's head between his ears, the gesture making several ambassadors gasp. To touch a Krilathi's head was to claim dominance. But Rack leaned into it, purring. I didn't come here for a rank, Cerise said, standing back up. I came here because kids were dying and nobody gave a damn. Because someone needed to stop the people responsible. She looked directly at Kellix. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to shut down every illegal operation in council space. You're going to pay reparations to the Kralathi people. And you're going to do it quietly, or I release this data to every news network in the galaxy. You can't. I just walked past your entire security force with 3 cubs and nobody stopped me. Cerise smiled coldly. What exactly do you think I can't do? The vote was unanimous. Later, as Ceres walked back through the fortress past guards who now saluted, past diplomats who stepped aside, Rack trotted beside her, pride in every step. They fear you now, he observed. Good, Cerise replied. Fear keeps people honest. She glanced down at him. But you don't fear me, do you? No. Rack's eyes gleamed. I trust you. That's stronger. Cerise smiled, the first genuine one all day. Yeah, kid. It is. Behind them, the cubs followed like shadows. And ahead, the galaxy was learning a new lesson. Humans might be small, might be soft, might not have claws or armor or ancient warrior codes, but they had something more dangerous. They had the audacity to care and the stubbornness to never stop fighting for those who couldn't fight for themselves.